Good evening, League. This is Mr. Beast here, and I thought I'd give the League a little bit of content. It's been 4 weeks, and now we're into the League for 4 weeks that we got a little bit of an idea what's going on in the League, and I thought I'd do a quick power ranking of how I see the League right now shaping up and talk about what I'm seeing going on in our League. So I'll get right to it and kind of go through, say a little something about everybody, and just see what you think, if you agree or not with where I stand. So I'll start with number one. I'll go from top to bottom and give you the rundown on how I see the league right now. Number one, I'm going to go with myself. I am the only undefeated team, 4-0. I've had 2 weeks where I've scored over 200, and so I've got to give myself as a top scorer the number one ranking right now. I've got a great start. I love where I'm at. It's my only hope is that the last 4 weeks of the season, my team goes on the same kind of run, and I can throw up 200 in the Super Bowl. But we'll see. But I can't complain with my start. I'm getting production from guys that I'm expecting it from, and it's a nice thing because it's kind of been a balance with my whether 1 week it was Lamar and Mark Andrews going off. Another week I had last week I had Austin Eckler have a big day, 3 touchdowns, and that's the kind of thing I just kind of keep spreading around who's having the big days, and that's what I hope continues. I see that continuing on, and I'll be a team that will put up a lot of points week in, week out. So can't say I'm going to go undefeated because there will be bye weeks and someone else. A lot of the teams have the ability of popping up big numbers, and I can't see myself getting lucky every week. But on the same note, I've had second most. Shinmu has had the most points against him. I've had second most. So I've had people put up good scores against me, and I've been able to get the wins. So hopefully when I have the down weeks, so do you. But we'll see what happens. But anyways, Mr. Beast, number one. And actually, I'm going to say number two is more of a 1B. And so I'm going to have 1A and 1B because I got to give props to the Green Machine. The Green Machine is a pretty dominant force right now. That team is loaded, and I was very fortunate to beat them. I had to put up 200 points to do it, and I've been very fortunate to. I was very fortunate to beat him that week because he had a great week too. But that team is got it going on. It's that quarterback play from Jalen Hurts. He's become a star. That guy's going to put up 20, 30 every week. And that's kind of a piece that he was missing last year, and I think that's going to be the case this year. So Jalen Hurts is going to help lead that. The running back strength of that team. He's got Jonathan Taylor, who people thought was number one running back in the league. Hasn't really done much. But in the meantime, Saquon Barkley, his big acquisition in the offseason, has stepped up to become a RB1 in this league again. And so with Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, and Saquon, that's a pretty tough running back crew. Not to mention he's got Leonard Fournette, who's going to be the main guy in Tampa, and Breece Hall coming on with the New York Jets. So he's really got 5 startable running backs, and with that kind of power, he only needs a couple of decent receivers, and he's got Diggs, and he's got Marquise Brown becoming the main target for Kyler, and he's got Cooks waiting in the wings. So and he's got a couple of tight ends he can throw at you with Hawkinson and Kittle. Hawkinson had that huge day. It's going to be a tough number to beat for a tight end for the high score this year. So you can't, everywhere you look on that team, he's got something. It's kind of like the Beast, where someone's going to step up every week, and he's going to put up a lot of points. So I won't say that he's number 2. I'd put him as a 1B because these are the 2 teams that are the hottest right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Hopefully everybody stays healthy so we can see the full effect of these 2 teams. But again, I don't see him. I see him losing other games. There's going to be bye week situations, and and we'll see if Alex can overcome. Last year, he had a good, tough team going to the playoffs and had a power outage during the playoffs. Lost a couple of games in a row, and ended up not finishing in the top 3, which was a surprise. But I see that team getting a bye again this season, or getting a bye. I don't know if he had a bye last year, but I see this team very well could be number 1 the next time I talk to you about all this. So there's your top 2, Beasts and Green Machine. Now, I'm going to give you a number 3, which is kind of a surprise because I don't know if they're going to hold this spot, but because of what they've done so far, I'm going to make it a clean sweep for the Mafia, the Boydock Mafia, and I'm going to give Krispy Kremers the number 3. They are 3rd in the league, scoring at 153 points a game. They've got players that are actually putting up numbers. Don't know if it will last, but I can only say they've done it so far. Why won't it continue? Starting with Jared Goff, where Goff is becoming a top quarterback in the league. The Lions are going to be in a lot of shootouts this year because they have no defense. They'll be playing catch up a lot. So that guy's just going to put up numbers, a lot of garbage time numbers perhaps, but it doesn't matter for fantasy. He's going to have a good numbers from Goff every week. He even did it without his big weapons this week. He was missing Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Chark, but he did it with Hawkinson and Reynolds and other receivers. Just, and put up a big week on that. And I think that with Travis Kelce, he's going to have it's always the place you want to start. Have a couple of good high scores to give yourself a base to work off of. And I think between Goff and Kelce, he's got that base. And then it's a matter of, do those other guys continue to produce? And you only need a few to be able to get wins, and we'll see if that continues for him. He's got some up-and-comers, Olave at wide receiver and Pierce at running back, that maybe they're the rookie sensations and can continue. But don't know if it will last, but for now, I've got to give the Creamers their due and give them the number 3 ranking. Now, number 4, 4, 5, and 6. I could pick any of them and mix them up, and it would kind of all be the same for me. And the last time I wrote all this down and went through this, I ended up going number 4 as the Vegas Koalas. And I'm doing that mainly because of, again, that base. They got that 2-man base that can give you 50 points almost every week. And Justin Herbert and Cooper Kupp. Once you start off with that 50, then you can just build from there. And he's got the players that can contribute, and it all depends on who gets hot one week. And if all his players get hot, he can put up the high score, but he doesn't need them all to get hot to win games. But he's got enough of that base that will be good enough to win a lot of games and get into the playoffs. And so I'm going to make them number 4. I almost have a 4A, B, and C. If I called them 4A, 4B, I would have to say it was Mr. Yunt. Mr. Yunt's team is got a lot of potential scorers. He doesn't have the quarterback play right now because I think Matt Stafford is kind of wrapping things up, and now he's got an injured Winston, and he doesn't have anything else. But the rest of his team is performing, and if he gets numbers like he did out of Deebo Samuel and Josh Jacobs, who knows if Josh Jacobs can be a regular 20-point guy, but he obviously showed he has that explosive 30-point week in him. And again, he doesn't need everybody to step up, but he's got enough good players that somebody's going to step up. And again, he's going to post good totals every week, and I think he'll be a team that could win any week. I think he'll do enough to make the playoffs. What did I say? His scoring average this year is 136, and Koalas was at 143. So, you know, they're in that same area. Next, my 4C, or number 6, I guess, my last team that I would have in the playoffs right now is Rye Bread. And I still like Rye Bread, although his stars aren't shining as bright as you'd want them to. I think there's still enough stars there, and they're going to get it together, and they're going to be good. Josh Allen is his go-to guy. He'll put up good points every week. But he doesn't have that second solid player that you can count on every week. You'd like to think it's Christian McCaffrey, but the Carolina Panthers suck, and they might not get that from him every week. And now he's already dealing with injuries. He said he had a thigh injury, but he played anyways. But so who knows if he lasts or whatever. But yeah, he's got to have consistent play from some of his bigger names, and a couple of guys that I thought might be able to contribute some more to that. Guys like Jamal Williams, or not Jamal Williams, what's his name, Williams, from the running back from Denver, that now is out with the torn ACL, and Michael Thomas just going back to his injured ways. I don't think he's going to be dependable, but the rest of that team is pretty solid, and he could be, you know, another team that puts up a lot of points every week. Now, the next few weeks are going to be really interesting because we have a lot of games between Koalas, Rye Bread, Creamers, and Mr. Yunt, and those teams will play each other here in the next 4 weeks, and that's when things are going to kind of sift out a little bit. So there's some big games coming up that will kind of straighten out that middle of the pack for me. That 3 through 6 is I think any of those teams could go there. Now, another team that I'm going to put just out of the playoffs right now that probably is like, wait, what are you talking about? I should be in the playoffs, is Mike Vick in the Box. And Mike Vick in the Box does have that name, those names on the board that are good. But it seems like every one of those players, just watching the NFL this year, is kind of like stuck in mud. They are not where they're supposed to be. You look at Kyler Murray, and it's like, boy, he's not as good as you thought he would be. Najee Harris didn't even catch a pass last week. Damian Harris has always been a grinder, and not, you know, he could do nothing. He could give you 30 yards of rushing, and you don't even, like, and he gets the ball 15 times. Right down to, who's your other running back? I'm trying to remember. But anyways, all of those guys have the potential to perform, but it's just not happening yet. But they could grind it out and, you know, improve with a new quarterback in Pittsburgh. Maybe Najee Harris starts catching more balls, and maybe things get better for Mike Vick in the Box. I wanted to say one more thing about that other running back. I'm trying to remember who it is. Oh yeah, Robinson. That's what I was trying to think of. Because now I don't know, like last week he had 29 yards rushing or whatever. Again, he's another one that has these explosive qualities, but then can just grind it to a halt. Justin Jefferson's your best player, and even he was shown to, he had a 4-point day, and you hate to see that. But then he came back with his 30-point day. That's what you expect more out of him. But Vick in the Box is an interesting team because they do have a lot of players that could put up numbers, but it seems so far through 4 weeks of the NFL just aren't. And we'll see where they are. Mike Vick in the Box scoring average 136. So not bad, but I think that's kind of what to expect every week, and we'll see how it all plays out. So there's number 7. Number 8, I'm going to go with Heroes Dynasty Deserves. It's a super injured team right now. True to form, Brennan's getting all the injuries. It's unbelievable. And so, but anyways, even with that team being as hurt as it could be, just about, he's gotten 2 wins. And those 2 wins could be very, important come playoff time. all of a sudden he's got enough wins to make it to the playoffs because his team gets healthy and he starts winning. And then, if he squeaks into the playoffs like he just missed last year, maybe this year he just makes it because of those 2 wins that he squeaked out. But I see this team at number 8 right now. In 4 weeks, I don't know that I would see them as a playoff team, but maybe after 12 weeks, if he gets healthy and the players come back and start playing, it could be a team that all of a sudden is showing what its potential is. And if he has enough wins, he could be a playoff contender. Not only does he have all those injuries, I think that, but this whole situation with Akers, the running back from the Rams, just stinks. And that's like another injury, because it's a guy that everybody thought, oh, this guy's going to be good, and now he isn't. So, and now this week he even loses Patterson, going to the IR. It's amazing. So, but when Dak and Godwin and Patterson and everybody's back, maybe this is a team that gets better. Tom Brady will get better. He'll have some easier games, and he will be putting up better numbers. So that team needs to get healthy to make a playoff run. Again, I think these 2 wins that he squeaked out this week or the last couple of weeks might come back to just be enough to put him in the playoffs, but we'll see. So that's numbers 1 through 8. Number 9, I think I put, let me look. Yes, number 9, I have the Misfits. The Misfits, to me, are like the New York Giants of our league. They're 3-1, but they're not that good. They have players that, have some name recognition, but I don't think they're going to be big-time scorers. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be the 30-point guy anymore. And some of the other guys that he's going to be relying on in those extra spots. I'm trying to remember. He's got Dubs starting now for the Packers, and I'm trying to remember. Hold on, let me get the rest of his roster here. Oh, that's what I wanted to comment on, is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is just a regular running back now to me. He might have a day when he gets a couple of touchdowns, but I think gone are those days when you could count on him for 20, 30 points regularly. It's just not going to happen. So I think that team's kind of aging out a little bit on the top end, and then his young players, they're not coming around yet. The Kyle Pitts, Romeo Doubs, and Trevor Lawrence aren't consistent enough to really give this team a chance of picking up a lot of wins. So, yeah, you never know. It could surprise me. I would not have picked them to make the playoffs, let alone finish 3rd last year, and that's what he did. So, Cody, do it again. Prove me wrong. All right, so that's my top 9. Number 10, I got to go with Madden's Ultimate Team. I think we have 3 teams in rebuild mode, and that would be the last 3 that I'm going to mention. And but the best of those 3 would be Johnny's team, and that goes off the star power of Patrick Mahomes. But gone are the days of Alvin Kamara and Zeke being a good backfield. Russell Wilson is, you've seen what Russell Wilson's done so far. Just an average guy nowadays. So the firepower isn't there. It's a thin team, and I think he's in rebuild mode. And I don't even see him popping up with enough upsets. Like he put up 139 last week, which isn't a bad score. Just happened to be against my 170 whatever. That's what's going to happen. But 139 I think is kind of a high for what that team's going to do this year. So Johnny would be the first of my rebuild teams down there at number 10. Number 11 is going to be Shin Woo Mun in the Mun Dynasty. There's some young players he's throwing out there, but none of them are stars yet. We'll see where they go. He's got a couple of guys who would be good number 2 kind of people. and then young guys that we just haven't established themselves yet. But we'll see where they go. He'll end up with another good draft pick next year and keep building. It was only like, I was looking at some of the records, and only like 4 years ago, no, I don't think it was 4 years, maybe a little longer. 1 year he was the highest scorer in our league, and so the Munn dynasty has fallen, but he will rebuild, which leaves me with number 12, Dynasty Champions. Dynasty Champions really is, well, you've seen their roster, not much out there. The good thing for Dynasty Champions, he's got a couple pieces that might be good trade pieces. Mike Evans, in particular, that he could, turn in for some draft capital in the future. But there's a team in full rebuild, and we'll see what happens. He's got Zach Wilson out there again, and quarterback. So we'll see how he does, and we'll see what kind of season he can put together. He is currently averaging 99.8 points a game, so we're not even to triple digits for Scott's team. So there's my rundown. I've got Mr. Beast's Green Machine, Krispy Kreme, Koalas, Mr. Yunt, Rye Bread is the top 6. Then Mike Vick in the Box and Heroes, followed by Misfits and Madden's Ultimate Team, and wrapped up with Munn Dynasty and the DCs. That's my power rankings right now. So comment on Discord if you agree, disagree, see what's going to happen the next few weeks. I'll come back and do another report on in 4 weeks. In the meantime, these 4 weeks, there's some awesome matchups coming up that will kind of sort some of this stuff out. And we have bye weeks coming. So bye weeks are going to play an effect on some of these things to see who can overcome some of those bye weeks and get wins. But we'll see how it all turns out. Hope everybody's doing well. Enjoy your football. Bye.